Welcome back to the Sean McDermott Show, and it's time to break down the film with our good buddy Eric Wood and an AFC Championship edition of Chopping Wood. The Bills are back in the AFC Championship for the first time since 1994 after a huge win over the Ravens. They held the Ravens to just 3 points. How did the defense shut down the reigning MVP?
They did it a number of different ways. They started off by bringing a lot of pressure. They brought defensive backs, even cornerbacks, in pressure during this game. They were also able to generate pressure with just the four-man rush. Jerry Hughes was excellent throughout this ballgame, 7 total pressures on the night. And when the Ravens started to get some momentum in this game, Taron Johnson put an end to that with his big pick six.
Well, let's start by taking a look at one of those blitzes the Bills used to bring pressure on Lamar Jackson. The first sack of the game came from Levi Wallace on a 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, the Bills were anticipating run. And so they brought a corner blitz. You rarely see cornerbacks blitzed in the NFL, but on a run-heavy offense like the Ravens, you will try these. And this one paid off big for Leslie Frazier on the defense. Levi Wallace comes home scot-free and able to make the sack to bump the Ravens back and ruin their field position.
Yeah, and then Jerry Hughes got going, and he had a monster game, had 2 sacks. Break down the first one that came. This was also on a 1st and 10.
This is a 4-man rush here. And what happens on this play is they run play action. Jerry at first has to play the run. Against the Ravens, you can't just fly up the field. So he comes off the ball, uses 2 hands to engage the blocker in front of him. He then sheds that one and stays alive. And then he's able to defeat the double team and come away with the sack. Anytime that you have this much time to rush the passer, though, you got to give some credit to the back end of the defense and their coverage.
Yeah, and Jerry's second sack of the game came in the second half. What did you see on this one?
This is another 4-man rush here. And as you see the Bills, 2 defensive ends, Jerry Hughes and Jefferson, they're both in wide 9 techniques. And that's to contain Lamar Jackson in the pocket. They're not going to let him escape laterally through the pocket. Jerry does a great job against a mobile quarterback. When you get to the depth of the quarterback's drop, you start working back into the tackle. The tackle doesn't recognize it fast enough. He's able to shed him and get his second sack of the night.
Later on that drive, Taron Johnson came up with the play maybe of the season. Break down this pick 6 for us.
Yeah, here we got 3rd and 9 and 3rd to goal to go. And so the Ravens have to try and push the ball to the end zone. The Bills show a blitz look. They end up just running 4. And in this cover 2 zone, Taron Johnson's able to read the eyes of Lamar Jackson, step in front of the receiver, and pick the ball. And he thinks about stopping for a second, and thank God he didn't, because he takes off. He has some green light in front of him, and a convoy of blockers gets out in front of him. And all he had to do was avoid that first tackle at the 1-yard line, and no one else touched him. Tre'Davious White out in front blocking. Look at Justin Zimmer get down the field as well, almost running stride for stride with him. Pretty athletic for the big guy.
Now, Eric, let's take a look back at some of the things the Bills' offense did well against the Chiefs in Week 6. We'll start with Josh's first touchdown that went to Steph Diggs.
This is one of the goal-to-go situations the Bills ran this year that someone wasn't completely wide open. And here, Diggs makes an incredibly contested catch on the sideline, gets his feet in bounds on a whip route. He's able to create just enough separation that Josh Allen's able to find him for the touchdown.
Yeah, the offense really got going once they got Cole Beasley involved, and they'll have to do that this week. Let's take a look at the 22-yarder in the 4th quarter.
Hopefully Cole Beasley's back at full strength. Seemed to have been limited in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs, but here on play action, Josh is able to stay alive in the pocket, buy some time, and in the zone defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, Cole Beasley is so good at finding those open spots in the zone. Josh always knows that he can trust him, and this was an incredibly big play in the game.
Yeah, and the Bills came back to Beasley on the following play for a touchdown on just a quick slant route.
Yeah, here Josh goes back to Cole Beasley. This time it's man coverage, and Cole Beasley's able to get just enough separation, gets the ball into the end zone. And if Cole Beasley can get back to form, like I just mentioned before, that is just another added weapon for a Bills passing attack that has been hot even as he's been limited.
All right, now let's take a look at what the Bills did on defense against the Chiefs. Mario Addison had a sack in the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. What did you see on this play?
The Bills run a 4-man rush here. Mario Addison, you'll see him do a spin move against the left tackle, Eric Fisher. Eric Fisher sets out at him, and at that moment, Mario Addison knows that he can spin and get back inside of him. It always takes a couple guys, though, to get a sack. The left side of the Bills' defensive line was able to generate some pressure, and Mario Addison was able to finish him off.
A few plays later, the Bills forced a turnover, which they are going to need this week if they want to slow the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. What did you see here?
So far in the playoffs, the Bills have had 0 turnovers on offense. If they can continue that and make plays like this in the game, then they will have a great shot at winning this game. And here, the Bills are able to rally to the football, and A.J. Klein, flying around the football field, is able to force the fumble. The Bills defense always flying around. They're always in an advantageous position to recover the fumble. Here, it's Josh Norman.
It'll be great to see if the Bills can knock off the defending champs to get back to the Super Bowl. Eric, thanks for this, and go Bills.
Go Bills.